Good morning, 9 o'clock. Welcome to Daybreak Plus on WGRZ Plus. And I have to say that Dan Russell has picked an incredible week to fill in for Patrick Hammer because you're bringing the heat, just like you did on the football field for so many years. Bringing the heat.
Love that. Yeah, definitely bringing some good news, especially considering the weather we've seen here over the past, going back 6, 7 weeks. You really got to go back to early January.
Has it only been 6 or 7 weeks? Feels
know,
like
right?
6 or 7 years.
Just that never-ending, persistent cold. That was really, I think that's going to sum up this winter. We never saw the big snowstorm, though, in Buffalo.
No.
The most snow we ever saw was about, exactly.
Not quit on that.
About 5 to 6 inches. That's it.
Yeah.
That's why we're actually running about 8 inches below average when it comes to snow on the season.
But we are running into some high temperatures for the parades this weekend. That is,
I think everybody kind of eyes that because you never know what you're going to get this time of year. It could be 60 and wind. It could be 2 degrees and snow.
But St. Patrick's Day is always the psychological end of the winter season. So, all right, and this week's going to cooperate.
And this one's definitely going to cooperate, despite the fact that we do have some rain in the forecast for the upcoming weekend. The key, the unseasonably warm weather, even warmer than what we're seeing right now. That will still be in place. But again, let's get you out the door right now. And yeah, we're now up to 54 degrees at the airport in Buffalo, 54 in Dunkirk, 52 in the Falls, 49 in Jamestown. Even we had a few upper 30s here across the southern tier, even there. Temperatures are now warming. Most will end up with highs well into the 50s this afternoon. Pretty much wall-to-wall sunshine for now, much like we saw yesterday. However, as we've been showing you, we have this very weak front that's dropping here across the upper Great Lakes. This is a moisture-starved front. There's almost no precipitation with it. For us, as it does drop in, it's going to kick up a breeze, produce a few clouds. More importantly, it's going to bring in a brief shot of cooler weather as we head into tomorrow. So let's track that here on Future Look. And again, for now, we have nothing but sunshine. Temperatures climbing well up into the 50s. Notice by 2:30, though, few clouds begin to sneak in. Look at Olean right there, trying to climb into the 60s this afternoon. Certainly some bonus spring weather for you there. Now, if you have any evening plans in the wake of that front, keep in mind as we do finish up the day. And remember, we still have that sun up now into the 7 o'clock hour, thanks to daylight saving time. Well, notice by 7 p.m., we're down to 43 in Buffalo. So just be prepared for a little bit of a chill to develop if you do have any evening plans. And that chilly air will continue to deepen as we go through the overnight. We'll have partly cloudy skies. And notice tomorrow morning it is a colder start. Nothing terribly cold for this time of year, but we do start out tomorrow with temperatures 20s to near 30. And when all said and done, highs tomorrow back down in the low 40s, close to where we should be for this time of year. And there might even be a spot shower that tries to sneak in towards the New York State-Pennsylvania line. Most areas won't even see that. And by the time we get into your Thursday, notice we start out in the 30s, so not as chilly. And with that kind of a head start, we'll get back up to around 50 with partly sunny skies for your Thursday afternoon. And it's a big time warm as we finish up the week. So again, for the rest of today, just a few clouds mixing in this afternoon. Breezy and mild, highs easily well into the 50s. Tonight, partly cloudy, a little chillier, lows 20s to around 30. And then for tomorrow, we'll have limited sunshine. Certainly going to be a cooler day, but nothing terribly chilly. In fact, seasonable with highs in the upper 30s, low 40s, and just that risk for a shower towards the end of the day and primarily towards the southern tier and into northern Pennsylvania. In the wake of that, we're cooler tomorrow, but by Thursday, we're back in the upper 40s. Low 50s. We'll have breaks of sunshine there. Friday, as we've been mentioning, the peak day of the week, more of a summer feel than a spring feel with temperatures flirting with 70. We hold on to those 60s for the weekend, but again, we'll increase the likelihood for some showers, especially I think that Saturday night, Sunday morning time frame. So Pete, we are tracking some wet weather here into the weekend, but neither day will be a washout. There'll be windows of some dry time. And again, check out those temperatures. We're talking 60s here for that big double parade weekend. I know the festivities, my favorite parade is the Old Neighborhood Parade. Oh, love going to that. So
for sure.
I think Saturday's weather is going to be phenomenal to participate in that one.
The luck of the Irish will be with us.
Regardless of what the weather is.
Exactly.
It will be with us.
Well, hopefully in free agency, the luck of the Irish is with the Bills because NFL free agency is off to a hot start. The Bills are already active. Former Chargers receiver Josh Palmer is joining the team. He's got a 3-year deal worth $36 million. He's almost a local boy, native of Brampton, Ontario. The Tennessee alum brings big playability in the medium and deep passing game, and that is actually a part of the game that we were missing for the last year, at least this past season.
Yeah, I guess according to some of the advanced analytics, his separating ability is what separates him from everybody else. He can create space, especially in man coverage, which the Bills saw more man coverage than any other team all last season. So we need those man beaters, and he's one of those guys.
Oh, yeah, and we need them to drop into a zone defense, so it opens up things for Josh, too. So that's, he needs separation. Well, on the defensive side of the ball, the Bills are adding another Ontario product.
Right, a little theme here
Michael
yesterday.
Hoyt, 3-year deal worth $24 million. The 27-year-old is jack of all trades. He's from Oakville, and he played multiple different positions in his first 4 seasons with the Rams. Now, Hoyt already has a Super Bowl ring. He was a rookie on that Rams team with Von Miller that won the Super Bowl 4 years ago. And so what do you think? That a good pickup?
He seems more of like that pass rush DT kind of hybrid specialist. Very much we saw the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl where they had guys that were DTs lining up at defensive ends lining at DTs. It was very much just those 4 guys all over the place. He's that kind of a hybrid kind of player. So I would imagine we're going to see him, especially in pass rush downs and things of that sort.
Could be filling that Vaughn role now that Von Miller's out of there.
Yeah, well, especially the interior. Again, the best way to get to a quarterback nowadays is right up the middle, that interior pass rush, because a lot of times these quarterbacks get rid of the ball so fast that the outside guys, they don't have a chance. The 2 interior guys, that's where if you can get that immediate pressure, and I think he's going to be one of those kind of specialists. Him, Ed Oliver, right next to each other on a passing down, it's going to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, I see, getting the feeling you know a little bit about football.
Just a little bit, right?
Now, this one I think is going to get a lot of talk, mainly because of the character that the Bills are losing. A fan favorite, of course, if you haven't heard already, is heading to a division rival. Mac Hollins signed with the Patriots, a 2-year deal worth just over $10 million. In his only season with the Bills, Hollins quickly became a vocal leader, did a little bit of everything for the Bills. Special teams, leading the team in receiving yards. But this is what he's going to be remembered by. Yeah, he was just a fun guy, made the mark in mini camp last year, walking around campus with no shoes on. And a lot of other players said, hey, that's not a bad idea. But, I think he brings so much. And excitement to the game, excitement to the team. I think he's going to be missed in the locker room as well.
Yeah, he's what they call a glue player. And you need glue guys on a football team where he might not put up those huge stats, say down the field, touchdowns, receiving, but he blocks. He brings in a lot of good juice and energy to that locker room. And again, he brings the team together. Glue guy, and that's what he is. And so now I think they're going to have a little role there that somebody's going to have to step into, whether it's on special teams, that blocking wide receiver. They got a little bit of a hole there with Matt Collins, despite the non-statistical numbers when it comes to his receiving stats.
Plus, he rocks the Fred Flintstone costume like nobody's going to.
I love that. And when he showed up barefoot on that bitter cold day in November, everybody, just instant respect.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, the free agency period is a time when players make demands. They could want anything from more money, a better chance at starting, wanting to be a contender. Early returns show that money ultimately trumps everything when it comes to free agency. This post on X has gone viral. It points out that Max Crosby said he wanted to play for a contender, so he re-signed with the Raiders. Yeah, Myles Garrett said the same thing. He re-signed with the Browns. DK Metcalf said he wanted to play somewhere warm with a good quarterback. What better place than Pittsburgh, huh? So
I love these. That's a great post right there, calling him out because, you just said it. Money trumps everything when it comes to free agency.
But when guys enter the conversation, I think what they really mean is I want to go to a contender, and then they, as the talks go on, they say, wait a minute. Hold on. How many zeros?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like an offer you can't refuse in a lot of cases. So, but we'll see how that all plays out.
Credit to the Bills for signing a lot of their guys before they even get to free agency, because some of the deals they have signed, I think 3-4 years from now, including Josh Allen's deal.
Oh, yeah.
I think these are going to be considered some pretty good deals for the Bills.
Yeah,
2 years from now.
That James Cook question still hanging.
Yeah, we still got that one.
I think that's going to last in a training camp.
That's a bigger, I think, philosophical question than just James Cook.
Yeah.
It is, how important is the running back?
Exactly, and he's almost a union leader at this point, you know, exactly. for every running back in the league. So that's going to take a little bit. Well, the streaky Sabres have picked up a win against the Edmonton Oilers. In the first period last night, Tage Thompson followed up his own shot. He put the Sabres on the board 1-0. Second period after the Oilers tied it. The former Oiler, Ryan McLeod, feeds Alex Tuch, who buries his 25th goal of the season. And then tied again in the third, Josh Norris wins a battle for the puck, finds Thompson in front of the net for the go-ahead goal. That's Thompson's 33rd goal of the year, tying him for 4th in the league in goals. And it was Norris's first point as a Sabre. That score would hold up as Buffalo goes away winning 3-2.
Not getting overextended in the D zone. Obviously, those guys, two of the best players in the world, and really good at get you staring at the puck and looking for plays away from, you know, on your backside, backdoor, plays away from them. And I thought we did a good job, guys away from the puck, just having an awareness behind them and looking for seams and taking away lanes.
Yeah, I think as a team we did a good job with it today. They're a really good team and kind of staying on top of that. And you know, it wasn't a perfect game, but I feel like we took our time with their top players and kind of stayed under the play and didn't make you know, any bigger mistakes and kind of fought our way through it today.
Yeah, it was pretty slow there right off the start, but I thought once we got our feet moving and handled the puck a little better, I thought we did a lot of good things.
Yeah, holding on to that 3-2 win. You know, I went to bed and I was thinking, 3-2. I mean, the Sabres up 5-2 is not a safe bet all season. But for them to hold on, and what Tage was talking about, you know, you tend to pull, like McDavid's on the ice. Everyone gravitates toward him.
Yep.
And they forget about a guy named Leon Draisaitl, who has, by the way, 15 more points than Connor McDavid.
Yep.
And UPL got the help of the goalpost a couple of times, including one on Draisaitl that could have tied the game. So Sabres ratcheted it down and got it done. So that was good to see.
The key is they're not panicking anymore. I think hopefully they've learned, especially there at the end of the games, just we don't need to go into panic mode.
Yep. Settle down. Let's not try and ride something to a victory.
Still a very young team. And you got to learn those things, you know, when you're that young.
You know what's annoying? They've been young for, seems like 15 years. But
we've been saying they're the youngest team in the NHL, forever.
Absolutely.
But they are.
But it is true, yeah. All right, well, switching gears to baseball. Next time you visit Salem Field, you'll be able to hear the game a little bit better. The Bisons announced they are upgrading their sound system at the ballpark. Initial improvements are scheduled to be complete by opening day. More improvements, including retuning and speaker upgrades, will be completed in phases. The team says they hope the upgrades will improve the overall fan experience because the Bison's opening day 2 weeks from Friday.
Wow, it's going to be here.
You know, and you know, when they announced it, everyone's like, wait a second. March?
Really?
Opening day, really?
Yep.
But if it was this Friday, they could get the game in.
Oh,
it would be a beautiful day.
It would be a beautiful day. And you know what? The next couple of weeks, we do have a lot of this warmth. I think there is going to be a little bit of a pattern shift towards the end of the month. I don't see a drastic shift like we're going to get back into the middle of winter, but they are going to cool things off, I think, a little bit towards the end of the month. And then it'll just be, I think, a question of precipitation. And, of course, we got a couple weeks to be able to hammer out that forecast.
And what type of precipitation?
That is the key.
March 28th, we could also have a little bit of snow. But stay with us. No snow on the way in the short term anyway. We're going to take a quick break. All right, well, spring break is upon us as well. It's a season about to get underway, and Miami Beach is a popular destination. And police are rolling out a new technology designed to keep the spring breakers in check. NBC's Julia Bagg shows us the tools that officers are using to keep things from getting out of hand.
Miami Beach Police launching a new airborne first responder, the Skydio X-10 drone. The first of its kind in the state. It's meant to help make sure spring breakers keep calm and carry on, preferably somewhere else.
A friend of mine said to me, hey, you guys not only broke up the spring break, but you actually divorced it. And we did, and it went well. And so this year, the idea is sort of playing on the old message. Hey, come down here, have a good time, but we're going to give you a reality check.
The reality check is that Miami Beach police are ready and watching. Officers can dispatch the new drone anywhere along the beach, where it can quickly relay emergency information back to officers at their new state-of-the-art real-time intelligence center.
We are setting the tone of law and order. People are looking at us as to how to accomplish safety, reduce crime, crack down on spring break, and the timing is perfect as we approach spring break to roll out these initiatives.
Mayor Stephen Miner has one thing in mind.
My goal is to make Miami Beach the safest city in America, and we're on our way.
Miami Beach also has some 850 cameras monitoring areas around town, more than any other city in the state.
Yep, well, that was a pretty cool story. We'll see if those drones can make a difference. Well, certainly could be a good day to fly some drones here in West New York when you want to pick up maybe some spring conditions, because we do have another round of bonus spring weather with breezy and mild conditions. The only blemish today, we're talking about some clouds for this afternoon. That's with a weak little push of cooler air. We're not expecting any precipitation, but a mix of sun and clouds for the second half of the day. The biggest thing you're going to notice is really come tomorrow in the wake of this system is we do have a briefly seasonably cool day for your Wednesday. We'll have temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s. The average high this time of year, about 40 degrees. So again, tomorrow is a seasonable day. Could see a scattered shower try to sneak in towards the New York State, Pennsylvania line as we finish up the day, but most areas remain dry. That cooler air is already retreating here on Thursday, and then we're even warmer, some big time warmth. Not just spring warmth, but even a little bit of early summer kind of in the air as we get closer to Friday and the upcoming weekend. The trade-off is, yeah, we do have some rounds of some showers that will also be working in by the time we get to the weekend. Neither day will be a complete washout, but both days will likely at least have a few showers that you'll have to dodge. And of course, we'll be hammering out the timing of those showers a lot more so as we go through the coming days. In the meantime, enjoy today. Again, breezy and mild this afternoon. Temperatures well into the 50s with just a few clouds. Tonight will be a little chillier, nothing terribly cold, but we'll see temperatures dip down upper 20s to near 30 with partly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow with limited sunshine, again, a seasonably cool day with a high around 40. But after just one seasonably cool day, look where temperatures are heading. We're climbing right back up. We're back around 50 here on Thursday, well into the 60s. Some spots are even going to be flirting with 70 degrees here Friday and into the weekend. And even after a little push of some cooler air here early next week in the wake of this weekend system, we're looking at more than likely another surge of warmth as we head into next week. So yeah, our above average temperature streak is going to continue here through the middle of the month. So as I promised everybody, no big winter weather anytime in the near future. And that is certainly the case, at least the next couple of weeks.
Not quite patio weather yet, but getting there.
We are close.
Absolutely.
We're close.
All right. Well, we are sharing the unknown story this morning of a World War II soldier from Lockport. He was an original member of the 10th Mountain Division, and his story is now being used as a lesson plan by his son.
My dad was in 10th Mountain Division, and he was from Lockport.
We went on snowshoes, and we were going to do an ambush patrol because the Germans had been ambushing some of our patrols, and so we were going to try and get some of them.
And John Newton's father, Carl, was a man with many stories, as this 2004 interview with the New York State Military Museum clearly shows. Like the time he had a Nazi surrender to him at Riva Ridge in the mountains north of Italy.
I thought it was one of our guys. Well, he got maybe 100 feet from me, and he dropped his pistol belt and threw his rifle down and put his hands up and come up, and I realized it was a German, and he said to me, got an American cigarette?
And on this day at Lockport's Keenan Center,
At the end of the flat part of Lockport, and there's the escarpment, and that's where he learned to ski.
John was sharing his father's story with his students from the Mandala School in East Aurora.
We've been studying World War I, World War II, so this is a good example to pull some things together, give them a better sense of what it was like then.
Bringing history to life through the artifacts that are currently on display and part of the Secret Weapons of World War II exhibit.
Out there, they trained all the time in mountain warfare. Every Monday, they'd pack up, get on their skis or the snowshoes, and go up into the mountains. And they'd live out there for 5 days.
But what really drove the lesson home were the very words of Carl in letters home that John read to his class.
You haven't anything on us for snow. We're in pretty mountain country, and there's lots of snow. He was special being a dad, but I never thought he was different than other people. Because all my neighbors, all the fathers, one neighbor was a pilot in the Air Force, another was in the Navy. Everybody was in the armed services.
John's dad was just part of that greatest generation who went away to do a job and then came home and lived their lives.
Well, one thing my dad has said, he said, once you're in a war, the rest is easy,
Yeah, that's a great quote. Once you're in a war, the rest is easy. By the way, if you want to check it out, that exhibit is open at the Keenan Center in Lockport right up till the end of the month.
That's a great story. I get to hear those guys and those stories all day long. I love hearing those stories. It's such good stuff and good just reminders, and especially for the younger generation.
And it was so cool because after I talked to John and did the interview with him, I stumbled across that interview from the New York State Military Museum done in 2004 from his father, Carl, who passed away in 2010. So, a voice from the past and relating to a lesson of the future.
Well done.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, it is the time of year that high schools are also crowning champions in their winter sports, like hockey. This weekend is the Final Four for the New York State High School Hockey Championships. But one man in Minnesota takes the awards one step further. John King follows up the Minnesota State Hockey Championships by crowning his all-hair hockey team. King posted a video on his Pull Tab Sports YouTube channel where he pays tribute to all the best flow from the players, the coaches, and student managers from that year's playoff teams. But the videos also raise money for a local charity, which makes hockey more accessible to people with disabilities. Hockey is one place where the mullet will never go out of style.
No, and the stash as well.
But this guy, he didn't make the list. But I think I could win that. So
you got that. You got the nice little stash going. I love it. I can't do that. It's one thing. I've tried growing a beard, just too much Irish, and just can't fill it in like I'd like to.
Well, mine would come in red, and now it comes in gray where it used to be red. But that flow out of the back of the helmet, people say, how'd you get such a wonderful, beautiful wife like Sarah? She couldn't resist the flow. I mean, are you kidding me?
Get your hands in it. Yeah,
it used to be soccer hair, and then it was hockey hair. But yeah. All right. So are we going to check in with Eagle Cam? Do we have time? Yeah. All right, let's check in with our Eagle Cam in Wyoming County. That's right around the Warsaw area. Right now, the Eagle parents, Oreo and York, are keeping a close eye on their 3 eggs. They were laid last month. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife says it takes about 35 days for them to hatch. So fingers crossed, we should be seeing some fluffy little eaglets any day now. And both of us,
it wasn't that long ago, maybe 10, 15 years. You'd have to go to Alaska. Like people would go on an Alaskan trip to go see bald eagles.
Yeah.
I see them almost every day.
When I was driving back from Brockport when I shot the flag football story, and a bald eagle fly overhead over the thruway. And it was like, it's one of those things where once you see it, it's just, they're so distinctive and so regal. It's so...
The way they glide. Yeah. I mean, it's so effortlessly. They're huge. They're big birds, and that they just glide effortlessly.
The only thing more graceful is a golden eagle.
Yeah, there it is, right
there. Guys, See what we did there? All right.
I like it.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Daybreak Plus on WGRZ Plus. Remember, you can get the news all day at WGRZ.com. But you've got a great day to enjoy. Look at that. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
Right. Day to spend by the lake, right? Well, you got no choice.
Yes.
Have a great day.